5,000 to turn 1. Feel that moment, Formula 5000 action.
It's like having a small block Chev strapped to your ass. That's what it's like. They accelerate like you wouldn't believe. Like I was pulling 7,400 in fifth gear down there, and that's 286 kilometres an hour down the front straight before.
There's a lot of vibration, a lot of movement. They move around a lot of straight line speed, and then you just got an unguided missile at times, so you just got to get it through the corner best you can.
I mean, the ultimate toy to really drive if you're a true racing enthusiast, I believe. They're very old, but they're very fast. These cars are capable of over 300 kilometres an hour, so you have to be very serious. And it's not mucking around, it's stuff, it's fast. And so preparation is everything. I've got a great crew here, and you have to go over everything. As you can see now, we've only done basically one race, and yet it's up in the air. We check everything and make sure everything's okay, you know, because your life depends on that, so you have to take it seriously. It's just it's the greatest feeling you'll ever have, so it's worth it. And they are a real hairy car. I mean, they've got 3 pedals, you've got no onboard computers, it's just an old engine that was built in the 60s, and it's great. It's raw seat of the pink stuff.
No, I loved them. They were just terrific. They were very exciting. There's always that a little fear factor, that little bit of trepidation about, is this car going to bite me today or what? And I think that was a good thing about 5000s, because it made the adrenaline rush just that little bit more acute. And what they were, and the weight they were, it was a very, very violent car to drive. They vibrate, they shake, they rattle. And the more they did, the more you liked it. You knew that you were doing a good job. If you come out of a corner and you feel the back of the car going across the track, still gripping, and in fact a lot of grip on the tyre, but the chassis was rejecting it as it transitioned into straight ahead position rather than turn position. And it was a very satisfying feeling, and you knew quite well that if you didn't get that shake and that vibrate, you weren't going quick enough.
They're the most fantastic car you'd ever want to drive. They're on top of the ground, they don't have a heap of downforce, but you can move them around at high speed, and it's all car throttle and steering control. These cars have got grunt. Every lap that you accelerate, you know that they're moving forward quick. No, they're right on the limit. I mean, it's hard to say what the limit is. I mean, you can slide them sideways 150 mile an hour and hang on to them. So that's, you know, I mean, the limit is there somewhere, but they're not that easy to lose, put it that way, despite the fact you do see people run off, but they don't really spin up. They don't deliberately spin up and break the tail away. Where our cars, when they're not handling right, if you'd like to muscle them up and do a job on them, you can make them do the same lap time.
Keep in mind it's only a 6-lap race. We've completed 3, obviously in safety car conditions now. Michael Lyons not stopping the car in time. And getting ever so close to Kenny Smith, who's got a championship riding on this. Let's head down to John.
We got a nice start. It's nice and clean to the first corner, but jumped on the brakes, going into turn 3. Throttle stuck open by the third. We had a similar problem on Thursday in practice, but we thought we cured it. It's whatever we haven't. So real shame, but hopefully we can get it sorted for tomorrow.
It's not that bad, but I mean, we haven't got all the bits to fix it.
time you put your foot down on full throttle, it doesn't matter how many laps you do, all hell breaks loose. The torque, the first thing that everybody sees when they're driving these cars is it's that sheer acceleration every time you put your foot down. And no car in the world, and I've driven most cars in the world, have torque like this. They just throw you in the back seat, and like I say, all hell breaks loose, and you hold on, and it's a ride, man. You've got to have your wits about you. When you're going 10 tenths, a lot of the boys are going hard, and we're right on the limit, and it's breathtaking. They're just amazing. Everything seems slow. Every other car that I've driven is just slow now.
The biggest change you notice is that these cars are a joy to drive after a tourer, because if you've got the instinct to drive a racing car, they're much more, much more satisfying. You find yourself running down to the ends of straights at 180 miles an hour and being able to brake from 150 or 200 metres, whereas in a tourer you'd be braking at 400 metres and so on.
Yeah, well, the excitement of as I said before, comes from the performance. The more the pair, the more you feel that you are in command. You know, and being in command of someone so much horsepower, it's something, it's an experience, and not many people have had the opportunity, I suppose.
You're never in any doubt that they're fast. They got sort of brute power, lots of torque, because they don't weigh much. They're probably 600 kilos, I imagine, and they've got about 500 horsepower, so they feel light up. And I've driven plenty of fast cars, but they get your attention. You know, they're a serious motor car. I had a mishap with it on qualifying, and the rear wing broke off it coming onto the straight, and it could have been the world's biggest accident. As it turned out, it wasn't, but after that happened, I was quite circumspect about it. I thought, having lived this long through 35 years of motor racing, I'm not so sure I need to be driving these things anymore. I think it's a shame Formula 5000 didn't evolve more as a category. You know, there's always people dreaming up new things, and they dreamt up Formula Atlantic, and that replaced it. But it's a shame it didn't continue to evolve, because as a concept, big powerful stock block and big tyres and big wings is a pretty good concept, you know.